All right, welcome in Taurus and Taurus placements. This is your reading for the first half of August 2026. So this reading goes from August 1st through the 15th, and it is intended for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. All right. So we're going to get a couple oracles and then get into tarot. See what Spirit wants you to know, what you can expect for this time period. As always, with these collective readings, please take what resonates for you and leave what doesn't for someone else. If you feel that this reading resonates where roles are reversed, please do so. And if you're feeling that it's not resonating, please check another placement. Okay. All right, let's get into it here. Archangel Michael, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, what do you have for Taurus and Taurus placements from August 1st through the 15th, 2026? What do we have? What do we need to know? Okay. All right, we've got evidence, law enforcement, temptation, criminal history, avoiding the 12. Anything else? Okay. And we have obsession, holding on, can't let go, and clinging. All right, so let's get into tarot here. Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, Archangel Michael, what do you have as far as the overall energy for Taurus and Taurus placements, August 1st through the 15th, please? What do we need to know? What is the overall energy? Let's see here. Okay, so we've got the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, okay, we've got the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. Okay, on the bottom is the Knight of Swords. All right. All right, so with the Six of Pentacles being here, I feel like, maybe you've been dealing with someone where they were not giving you 100% of their energy or investment. Okay, maybe this person wasn't giving you the effort that you were giving them, and maybe they were giving to another, situation or person, people, things, whatever they put, in front of you. I feel like you demand and want your equal give and take here. And I feel like it is possible that maybe you moved away from this person because you weren't getting that. Okay. I also feel like, this person, whoever you've been dealing with, potentially now wants to come in and, be able to, give this to you. Okay. Provide you with the equal give and take that you deserve. Okay. I do feel with the Four of Swords being here that you were giving to this situation, like I said, more than another person was. And this other person was just kind of like lounging and, basically being lazy about it. They were not giving, like I said, like you were. And I feel like they were comfortable with that. I'm not sure how long this maybe had gone on for, but I'm sure that you all were probably feeling like, well, they'll get their head out of their butt at least some point here. They'll understand that, um, they're not giving their effort, their due diligence to this connection, that they're not meeting me halfway. And you were hoping that things would heal. You were hoping that things would be better between the two of you. Okay. And unfortunately, like I said, I feel like this person has been kind of like the person in this picture, and they've just been kind of like lounging around, taking a nap. I feel like they slept on this connection. Okay. And, I feel like now this person might want to come in and heal things with you. All right. Because I feel like this person has fumbled you, they've fumbled this connection. I feel like this person has had sleepless nights about this due to anxiety, and it's anxiety that they brought on to themselves. Maybe this person had put you in the Nine of Swords at some point, but now this person, they're feeling it. And this person is stressed, they're anxious, like I said, they can't sleep, they're probably having nightmares. And it's all because of what they've done here. They basically have made their bed, and now they're having to lie in it. And this person, they know that you make them the happiest. They know that they have an emotional connection with you, with the 10 of cups here, that they do not have or have not had with anyone else. It's just not the same. There's a sense of intimacy, a sense of closeness, a bond here that they cannot escape. And I feel like, maybe this person felt like you would always be there until you weren't, And so I feel like they owe you a conversation. They owe you truth, honesty, and clarity about this situation, about their feelings, about maybe what they did. Okay. So we do have the Knight of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. The Knight of Swords is an energy of being impulsive, possibly also being reckless. So maybe this person moved in this energy, prior to now, where they were just very reckless with their energy, reckless with what, their words, their actions, their behavior. Maybe this person is someone who didn't really think twice before they would say something. They didn't realize, or they maybe even didn't care how it would affect you or other people. Okay, so it's kind of a selfish energy. All right, but this person does want to rush in because I feel like, this person does feel like they've either lost you or they're losing you. Okay, now I don't always look under the deck, but we do have the Four of Wands that was behind that, and so is the Queen of Wands. So I feel like this person either had a third party behind your back, or they tried or were trying to make you a third party. And the reason why I'm saying that is because with the Four of Wands and the Six of Pentacles being here, to me, that's indicating a third party situation, most definitely. Okay, with an actual person. Now, granted, there could have been things or a situation, there could have been multiple people involved, I'm not sure, but there's at least one person here with the Queen of Wands. So, whether they made you a third party or whether they had one behind your back, there is something here to be said about that. Okay, so I feel like they owe you the truth here as far as whatever this was going on behind your back. Okay, whatever you resonate with, and the fact that they need to be honest about the emotional connection that they have with you, and the fact that they slept on this connection. They basically let it slip through their fingers. or they're letting it slip through their fingers, whether it's already gone or it's going. Okay, so I feel like with this evidence card, it has to do with mostly about temptation, third party temptations, things like that. But I feel like this person is obsessed and can't let you go here. They're clinging onto your energy. Okay. All right. So as far as signs so far, we have earth, air, water, and fire. So all signs are here. Okay. All right, Spirit. So what are the potential challenges and difficulties that Taurus and Taurus placements might be facing the beginning to mid-August here? What are the potential challenges and difficulties? Okay, well, we've got the Four of Wands. Well, there we go again. The Queen of Wands. What else? Okay, we've got the Five of Cups. What else? Okay, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Three of Swords. Okay, on the bottom is the Ten of Wands. All right, yeah, so as far as the potential challenges, like I was saying, I don't know what this situation is for you. I'm feeling both energies where either you were in a connection or relationship with this person and they had a third party behind your back or third parties, or it's the opposite where they were already in a relationship and had you as a third party, whether you knew it or not. Okay. Or they tried to make you a third party. So I feel like the idea of moving forward with a relationship with this person after knowing that this was going on, the fact that they were not giving 100% of their energy and effort to you and your connection, I feel like even if with the Four of Wands you felt like this person, or even still feel like they are your person, like they are your the person you want to marry and have a family with and things like that, just thinking about all of that at this point is difficult for you. It's difficult to feel that things will work out. And, like the people on this card are celebrating the fact that, you can celebrate having this with this person. It's like, how can that even happen? How can we make this work? With the Queen of Wands here, yes, whether you're this third party Queen of Wands or there was a Queen of Wands third party outside of your connection, whatever it is for you, the fact that this happened, the fact that this person did this, it's difficult to even get past that. Can you trust this person? If they've done this once, will it happen again? I feel like, can you trust that this person's words and actions will match? Because I'm sure that this person has no problem with the Ace of Swords here, possibly telling you the truth about certain things, but will they tell you everything? Will it be lying by omission? Even if this person tells you that they want to be different, that things will be different, that this won't happen again, at this point, how do you know that that won't happen? And so it might be difficult for you to regain trust, with this person. I also feel that with the Five of Cups being here, that, you have a lot of regret in this situation. And and you're disappointed. You're disappointed because you probably did trust this person, that you do have an emotional connection with them, that you wanted this to work, and you put in the effort and energy that you were supposed to. So maybe there's a certain sense of regret as far as, well, if things ended this way and I got hurt the way that I have been, it's like, man, why did I give as much as I did to this person? Maybe you did see red flags, but you were hoping that something would change. Maybe you overgave, even possibly, for some of you, and you were hoping that this person would realize and make the appropriate changes, and and then start to give you your equal give and take here. But I feel like there's significant disappointment, and that again fuels, can I trust this person? you know can I open my heart back up to them? Can I move past what this person has done? you know um, with the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like there was, a significant amount of investment that was made here, that you have given time, energy, effort to this connection. It's, someone that, it's not someone that you just met, it's someone that you've known at least for a little while. So you have spent part of your life here giving to this person and this connection, and it's hard to just take that and toss it in the trash. So that might be something that's difficult for you as well. I feel with the Seven of Pentacles, the fact of you continuing to wait, because the Seven of Pentacles can be a card of waiting, to wait for things, for this person to change, to wait as long as it will take to see if the red flags emerge again, if you give them another chance. You know, will this person's actions, will their behavior match their words, what they're, promising you or whatever? Do you want to wait that amount of time? Because it might take a significant amount of time for them to prove themselves to you. That's if you want to give them another chance, you know? And the idea of even like going elsewhere and planting your seeds with someone else right now, like that's again something that might be posing a difficult challenge for you. Okay. And I feel like it's due to, all of these things are due to the Three of Swords being here. It's due to this person breaking your heart. And, the Three of Swords many times can be heartbreak because of a third party issue. Not necessarily being an actual person, but it's, an obstacle or something getting in the way that causes heartbreak. And so I feel like, this person has broken your heart. They've affected you emotionally. And I feel like that maybe it's difficult to even think about how to get past that. How can I get past this heartbreak with this person? Can I trust them again? You know, yeah, I've invested a lot into them in this connection, but are they going to break my heart again? You know? So, you're probably thinking about all of these things. And with the 10 of Wands being here, I feel like, this connection has been very burdening for you. What this person has done has been a burden. They've brought a lot of conflict into your life that maybe, you didn't have before, that you don't want. And it's almost like, well, I have all these other things going on in my life, which all of us do, right? We all multitask, we all have burdens of some sort. But to have something like this that's unnecessary, that's additional placed on you, it's like, I don't need that, you know? And I feel like the burden that this person has placed on you has, been significant. And that's something else that's posing a challenge. So it's like, how can I maybe make things work with this person? Or how can I even think about making amends and moving forward with them if things have already been so difficult and so burdening, you know? Yeah, because after that is The Ace of Cups. Yeah, how can I open my heart up to this person again? And, you know, and even if you move in a different direction, the amount of burden and heartbreak that this person placed on you, you know, it's like, how can I open my heart to someone else? Even. It just, you can't even fathom it right now. Okay. All right. So I think, so we had all signs that are out here. I don't see anything additional just yet. Okay. So Spirit, what is your advice and guidance for Taurus and Taurus placements here in this situation? What is your advice? What is your guidance? What do they need to know? Okay. All right. So we have the Seven of Wands. Okay. We've got the Six of Cups, the Six of Swords. You might be seeing sixes. 66 might be significant. Okay. We've got the King of Wands. We have the Ten of Wands and the Ace of Cups again. On the bottom is Temperance. Okay. Okay. So as far as your advice, Spirit says with the Seven of Wands being here that, you know, yes, there are obstacles. Yes, these obstacles are something that, or they are things that could be worked on, and you can get past them if both parties are willing to do the work. Okay. So like this person in the picture, you know, obviously this water is an obstacle, but with the wands, they are making a path or like a bridge to get over it. So there is, you know, a way to get past these obstacles if both parties are able to be willing to do that and do the work. Okay. Probably won't be easy. Okay. You have to be willing to fight for it. But the thing is that, you know, with the Seven of Wands, I feel like, you know, maybe this person made you defensive. You know, maybe they got defensive with you. You know, I also feel like, you know, Spirit wants you to stand your ground in this situation. Okay. So definitely don't allow this person to pull at your heartstrings. Don't necessarily just take their word for it. Make sure that they show you with actions. And like I said, with the Seven of Pentacles, that it might take time if you're willing to give that amount of time if you want to make this work with this person. But I feel like with the Seven of Wands, it's basically, you know, Spirit is saying to stand your ground here in this situation. Because I do, again, feel like this person is going to want forgiveness. You know, there is communication coming in and they are wanting to talk about things. They do want to be honest about certain things, but are they, you know, being completely honest? Are they lying by omission? You know, it's hard to say. Now with the Six of Cups, the Six of Cups is a card that talks about reconciliation. You know, this person is most likely coming back or coming in wanting to reconcile with you. And, you know, like I said, they'll probably bring up things from the past. They'll probably talk about, you know, memories and things like that to try to pull at your heartstrings. And you might be thinking about the past as well. I feel like, you know, you do have a history with this person. And it is hard to let people go when you do have time invested into people and situations. Okay. But Spirit wants you to stand your ground, even though, you know, those things are at play here. And, you know, Spirit really does want you to do what is best for you based on looking at the past and what this person has said and done, and figure out what is best for you as far as moving on to calmer waters. Okay. Because I am feeling this similarly to, I feel like it was the Aries reading where, and I don't always feel this way, but I am feeling it again with this reading, that with this Six of Swords here, with this deck, you know, this is you all here in the boat or raft or whatever it is, and you're rowing away to calmer waters here. While the person you're dealing with or have dealt with, male or female, doesn't matter. This person is either on shore or they're behind you somewhere. They're not in the boat with you. They're behind you. And it's almost like they have a smirk on their face because they know that they were willing to talk you into moving on to calmer waters here. But in their mind, they know that it's either manipulative or there's something here that where they're not 100% truthful. So it could be something that they're just holding back from you. It could be something, like I said, lying by omission. Okay, so I do feel like this person will say whatever is necessary to keep you in their life. And so that's why, again, Spirit wants you to stand your ground, okay, toward this person. Okay, now I am feeling that this King of Wands energy is actually your energy. Okay, I don't always feel that way, but right now I am feeling that this is your energy. Now, granted, this could have been, and it could also be the person that you're dealing with, where maybe it's the negative aspects of the King of Wands. And, I feel that Spirit in that sense is wanting you to remember that this person is in King of Wands energy, where it is the negative aspect, where passion is fueling this person. It could be like schmegel type energy that's fueling this person. It could be something where, this person is driven by lust and passion. They might have issues with commitment because they like to keep their options open, thinking the grass might be greener somewhere else. So they don't want to commit to one person 100%. And they could have a wandering eye. They might be very inconsistent, which does line up with the energy that I was feeling here in this reading. So I feel like Spirit wants to remind you that they are in this energy. Not that they can't change, but this person is still in this energy. Okay. And, the fact is, this person has brought a lot of burden to you because of this energy. I'm feeling that Spirit, as far as guidance for you, wants you to embody this energy as well, because we have masculine and feminine energies in all of us. And that Spirit wants you to embody the positive aspects of the King of Wands, where you take action, where you feel is passionate action. Okay. And move in a direction where you feel is best for you as far as what your heart and your soul is telling you. Where will bring you to more balanced and peaceful times. And always remember your value and your worth. Okay. So I am feeling two different ways about that. With you embodying the King of Wands, that positive aspect there, Spirit says that yes, you're going to have burdens in your life. And yes, this person did bring significant burden to you, but try to move past that. Embrace this action-oriented energy where you feel that sense of passion inside of you and use that to fuel yourself moving forward and open your heart to new opportunities. Now, if you do feel that moving forward with this person is where you want this Ace of Cups, then that's your free will. If you feel it's in a different direction, then that is what you should do as well. Always follow your intuition here. Okay. But at the end of the day, Spirit does want you to embrace temperance here within yourself and within your life and move toward balance, harmony, and peace, whichever direction you're going in. So if you feel like it's with this person and there's a potential and possibility to get there, then that's, your free will decision. If it's in another direction, maybe, through a healing process and then possibly meeting someone new, or maybe moving on to, working on other things in your life that bring happiness to you, focusing on yourself and things like that, then maybe that's what it is. Okay. Whatever it is for you, spirit wants you to ultimately move toward balance, peace, and having this sense of harmony in your life. Okay. Because I feel like in the past with this person, this was not providing that for you. Okay. Additional sign, we have Sagittarius here with Temperance. But like I said, all signs have been out here. Okay. All right, Taurus. Well, I am going to leave this reading here. If you feel like it resonates with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, take care. I hope this brought you some information and insight, and we will talk soon. Okay? Namaste, my friends.